It was a map number one go on this side of YFP in a 13-9 victory, and things kind of changed a little bit. We were talking about it, Wyatt, on the desk. This was a rematch where YFP had to start with the right foot, and they did exactly that.
Yeah, absolutely. Last time this map was a wash for Decimate back in the closed qualifier. YFP, they went to a different composition this time, and they looked fantastic. Extremely well coordinated throughout, especially that attack half, despite DCM coming in with some heroics.
Yeah, and just look at the post plans for YFP too. I think they set themselves up really well for those situations, and then they executed fantastic in those situations. You heard Vantilli talk a lot about the retakes in that second half as well. I think YFP played the mid-round game, and the game plan was perfect in this situation. So the prep, they won that. DCM, I think, they were in that game because they were still individually fragging, but YFP really had the read on it. And then on top of that, like Lemon Kiwi said, Nico came alive on that second half as well. And that's the thing that will equalize and eventually put them over the edge. I think we're smelling a dark horse here. YFP looked much better than some of their, even that last series that they had where they had the massive comebacks.
And we mentioned it earlier too, this is a team that the more that we get to see from the open qualifier all the way until now, this map that we just watched, they look better and better, and definitely this map of Sunset especially, as Vantilli was saying, they look a lot more prepared. They already understood what the side of Decimate was going to bring. And something that also caught my attention was how good they were at keeping that momentum, right? On the first half, it was 5 rounds on the attack for YFP in a row, and then it was the same way on the defensive side, Wyatt, 4 rounds.
Yeah, it was a string of rounds that were all off the back of working the map extremely well. You can even see in the replays here, the moments early on, like Zan getting that 3K with the Sheriff in the second round, how that just turns the economy on its head, turns things around for them. And if those rounds, those low percentage win rounds, didn't go in their way early on, then I really think you would have seen a very one-sided scoreline for YFP here.
Yeah, I do want to. I mean, what you said, Dan, about what you said, Wyatt, about the map control and how that was going very well, just methodical. I do want to give an example here of YFP in this situation because I think they read many of the things that defensively you actually saw from Decimate. For example, here there's a seize, a nade going over for Zan, using a double satchel to take some of that A main control, and they just pick him off. Look at the minimap right now, dead. And that's because they use the Viper combination very well here on this execute. Nico, I mean, there's nobody on the site except one player, and because of the nice dash updraft, they're causing chaos. Then there's a flash in the back there where that player's just completely out of it. The post plants, once they set up into it, were perfect, and it's because of the mid-rounding there from Sekia that I really think maybe it's they had just complete reads, maybe it's they prepared really, really well because there wasn't much change coming in from Decimate, but I think it's just they got it, right? It's clicking now for them, and they're understanding exactly the type of puggy playstyle that DCM is kind of going for is not going to work out here.
One of the reasons why you see that 13-9 is because it came really close towards the beginning, but the big reason why it was Rise was clutching, staying alive, getting those multi-kills in so many of those early rounds. It slowed down towards the end, but you see this player kind of being the one trying to wake the rest of the team up, but by the time that it was looking even, especially when they went into that pistol, it was a YFP just taking it over, Wyatt.
Absolutely. That 1v2 clutch from Rise was sick. That first flick shot was... That's the inhuman reactions moment in this 1v2. This was crazy. And this was just a couple rounds after Zan hit that 3K with the Sheriff. There's another post plant not too long after where Rise was just getting all of the trades. Look at these situations. I mean, it's these late rounds where YFP were working the map, getting the spike down, and then the Rise heroics were actually, clutching things out in that early first half.
Enemy remaining.
YFP were playing such a macro game. DFM,
Yeah.
DCMs. I mean, DFM don't have a very dynamic defense either, but DCM on their defense, they were not really offering anything unique round to round. You saw them going for like the same defensive aggression play with Zan, just double satcheling down A main, and both times you just saw a Raven ready for it, just backed off, and then Zan retreated.
I mean, that's the interesting part too. Like it's Zan. It's like all centered around that one player, and there's nothing else going on around the map. You know what I mean? Like all the proactivity comes from that situation. That's kind of why I say like it's a little bit more on the fly than what's happening over for YFP, and it's easy to understand, right? You see, okay, the raise ult. Okay, I know they're gonna raise ult down mid or down somewhere. It's gonna happen. Just be ready for it, and you just back up and then replay through the round. And I think what happened is DCM, when they go for these situations and nothing happens, they don't really know exactly where to move the pieces after that.
And YFP is just one map away from guaranteeing that top 4, which would be a big deal for them, but for them to close it out in 2, Wyatt, it's got to be Lotus, another one of those maps that we talked earlier on today. When they played this in the open qualifier, it was an even more convincing victory for the side of Decimate.
We're going to see Zan on Raze here again, and we're going to see DCM start on defense again. I'm looking for them to bring a lot more, or rather just some different flavors to how they want to approach these early round defensive sides, how they're going to set up Zan in more effective ways. It's so important to control Rebel on this map, and you're always going to be seeing that, you know, situations where the Raze nade is coming out early on defense to lock down the door. Depending on if they're going to play the Fade here again or the Breach here again, which they're going to have the Fade, so you're going to see that tandem utility to control that area of the map. That's going to be really important for me if Decimate want to get the lead here.
And I think, I mean, we're starting YFP on attack again, too, so it's this very similar thing to the first game, right? Where you talked about mount control, right? Zan's going to be that point person going into this, and it's going to be tough, I think, to handle exactly what YFP is doing, because there's so much on the map, right? If I see Zan go for some rebel control, they leave them by themselves there, I'm going to see YFP probably just feint one side and then take her out with an easy fade dog or something like that. There's the opportunities for that. And I do want to also say that this is the map they closed out their series yesterday on, and they're very warmed up, I would say, on this particular map in terms of finding out exactly what's working in this specific tournament right now. So I think YFP are looking strong to potentially 2-0 here and flip the script entirely on this match.
You mentioned it, Bella. It was YFP closing out the series yesterday on this map of 13-10. But on the other side, to close out that match against the boys, Decimate had to also play this map of Lotus with that 15-13. So both of the teams kind of going the distance when it comes to Lotus. The only big difference that you find here, Wyatt, is the controllers on one side running the Astra, on the other side running the Omen.
Again, though, this is another situation where if we reference back to the series they played in the closed qualifier, where they played Lotus and Sunset, again, YFP switched to their comp on this map. They were previously in that game running a really silly comp with a neon, a chamber, all types of stuff. And kind of similarly to Sunset, at the time they were running something off, a bit more off meta, and have now shifted to something more standard. And it worked really well for them on Sunset, so it certainly may here again.
Sipping on that dark horse drink right there. It's about to come. It's coming. They're coming out. I think this is a good 2-0 here for a YFP right now.
I agree.
We're going to see if it's going to be that run for the dark horse and the 2-0 victory for YFP, or if this is going to go all the way through 3 maps. And the casters called me out last time, so I'm going to check my notes. It is lemon and kiwi, right?
Sounds right to me.
You know, it's me.
I have a big sip.
It's invisible!
Oh, yours invisible! How do you drink an invisible cup? I was so jealous!
Avoid!
Mine's big voice.
Because there's no such thing. No such thing. It's dark horse juice.
Yes,
it's just skill.
Sustenance is not real.
No. No, but Decimate, you know what is real? The 13-4 that they beat YFPX on in OQ1, but then you can't deny the long Lotus that YFPX went to against Infinity X just yesterday. You'd love to see the growth out of a team. That's what this is all about, improvements.
The improvements, again, trying to go through the gauntlet of understanding if being a little bit more
cheesy in your composition was the right play or not, because remember this was like a chamber and a neon that they used during the open qualifiers, and this time going into something a little bit more standard. Although seeing an Astra is not too common on like the quote-unquote meta of how you play the map right now, but still very good on using her on these post-plan situations for these sucks, where it still stays the same though. If you're looking at the gameplay of YFPX, it's still a default. Very similar right now to what we've seen on that first map of Sunset. Working middle together, breaking this turret, and then having the alerts, holding the pushes, and actually activating one side of the map.
That turret was not happy to see YFPX. This has already gotten Misu looking around B. Who's knocking here? Okay, nobody. YFPX just laying around with their food. Now getting to cross all the way.
Wait, I thought we said
to
food
A
wasn't
is
real.
Raven. Food. I mean, I'm a gamer. Yeah, I don't really drink water or eat food. Not the good kind anyway. But we are gonna have a treat this series by how YFPX have been playing. Now throwing that Prowler on the other side of the door. Tree control for YFPX, and this Viper Wall is helping them get to sight. And who's waiting for them is Carrie. Has a lot of weight on her shoulders, getting completely surrounded. Great headshot there by Kazler. Plant for YFPX going down, and DCM coming through the top side.
They were hoping at least there for
30
Carrie that
seconds
the teammates is going to be there to be able to be first contact, but well done for that smoke to come down from Kazler. Here comes a retake though for DCM. Sheriff at the point.
Oh, good exchange. Zan making up the last game with the Sheriff. Sekio wins that when the first shot went to Amluo. Unreal fumble. We're the 2 versus 2. Spike getting tapped, forcing Kazler out of their jungle. Taking care of good bait by Rise and Friend. He's still being tapped. Raven approaching the smoke quite carefully. And how did Rise still get the flick there, even while moving? And they'll get the defuse. DCM get pistols.
Little moment of pressure there for Raven, thinking that the spike was still being stuck on by Rise. Although there was a double swing that came out to get the first kill onto Tree. So not sure there was another tap that came through. If there wasn't a tap, that's a little bit of pressure under the situation that Raven could have stayed calm and win for the favor of YFP on the post plan, but at least they scaled the site quite well. They wanted to make sure that all corners were checked, and they used great utility to allow for this double flank to happen against that Viper in the back of that A site. But that right there, nice first kill, but the second one, Rise was able to save the round for DCM. A great way to start the second map right now as they're looking for the early pressure towards the A main. Control the orb at the same time too. Although the Haunt spotted all 3 of them, they might have to pull back quite soon here until they throw this one way. It's going to be a little bit easier. They know they're playing against pistols, so they don't care that they're getting pinged.
Concealment.
And that's the plus of running an Omen over the Ashtray. You can always paranoia that lobby. YPX are still lurking around that A lobby, just waiting for all of this util to be exhausted. And who's waiting for them at Rebel is still Rise and Zan. And now still seeing the YPX are throwing util out of there. You don't want to leave quite just yet. But meanwhile, you have Kurosu, who's progressing through mid, has maybe an engagement against Misu. And hearing each other there, the rest of YFPX gonna explore sand and see if this will be a moment to enter. Of course, that Viper smoke comes at the worst time as they wanted to run in. And Carrie taking some damage. Wants to respect this. The Prowler, the YFPX entry has begun. All 4 players running in, but DCM taking care of business, getting 3 kills right on entry. And Zan has been such an impactful player already on Lotus. It's up to Kazler.
Spike is down too. It was a brilliant attempt as the Prowler missed the B main control in the front, but DCM made sure that they're covering each other's backs. Now as you're trying to lurk up to try to find somebody, it was nice here that they just played the buddy system for Decimate on that 2 versus 1. The spike being down on the open, you don't have to push back within the site. Just let them pick up the spike if they want to. And as soon as they try to go for a plant, I mean, the top of the dome is going to get spotted there. So they were in a great situation for DCM no matter what. Although this was like, what, a 2 versus 3 or 4 in that C site. That still converted into a doable situation for YFP. Look at how the bonus is for DCM right now. They have nothing to work with. That Guardian and the Bulldog that they had from the previous round and 3 Sheriffs. So a great way for YFP to actually start snowballing their economy against this bonus round of DCM. DCM are just holding the C site, though. They're not really trying to go for anything yet. Maybe an orb, tap, paranoia, and then they try to have a pick from Zan with this Guardian. So they had to play very cautiously for YFP.
Right there.
Wonder if Raven has a possibility of getting the pit online this round too, just 2 away from that, and maybe aggressively pushing through rubble to get the orb on that side. And YPX's C team is getting pushed back already. At least they didn't lose any bodies. YPX knocking on the door. Who's home? Well, just a turret. But DCM quickly rotating to the top of site. Leading that charge is a Prowler and Boombot. Good clear. At least you get the first half of the site, so you're comfortable planning if you're YFPX, especially with the cover of smoke. All 4 players of DCM are at the top, and lurking mid is Zan, who's not going to come through baby doors, so YFPX just have to watch these 2 entries.
It's already being initiated, though. Prowler and Smokes are coming through, so here comes the war attrition with utility. Prowl spots a few, or a haunt, rather.
Yeah, YFPX just looking down the sight line, and all the kills favor them. Raven with 3 this round will have the pit online, and it's a flawless.
I gotta say, we had a nice heads-up play on how Kazler worked that C site, though, anticipating that there was potentially some sort of trap play with that C site stack on DCM. And she decided to walk forward, and as soon as she got contact with the Viper, ran back and pulled the smoke up to not allow the paranoia push from the defensive side to do any damage at whatsoever, and had some great backup from Kurosu at the same time. So beautiful reads, well done to allow YFP to move into a site. Hard to do a retake with that lower buy that we mentioned before from the shares that you had only from DCM. So we talked about steamrolling the economy. I think that was a flawless round that they had for YFP. So it's very healthy right now to go for a buy right here, and or maintain their buy, of course, and to have a buy in the next round, and even put DCM in a tough situation if they start dropping bodies in round number 4 as well. And it's 4 players moving out towards the C side. You're seeing that there's the double delay set up by the Viper and this KJ.
And if YFPX can get on the site, they got the pit, could lock this down. Harry has an important task, holding on this door, not wanting to swing. This smoke from the Astra allows them to cross, and Carry swings at the right time to at least get the 1-to-1 trade. But this has maybe opened up the site for YFPX. He's still hesitating on when to run in, using the paint shells to clear the back. Emlo has to dodge, uses the turret for a distraction, but she gets overwhelmed, and YFPX have set up camp. And DCM's rotate is coming through mid and the backside.
Throw your flowers on how Kazler keeps working the C site, even spraying to bait the swing out from the water to allow the entry to happen for YFP. Now this is going to be very difficult, disadvantage, and different situations, different spots for DCM. Because that might be a call for Rise to potentially save here. Unless she gets a backstab, but it's not looking too good.
I don't know where Rise is, though. Checking every corner. Oh, Kazler gonna grab it, and her 3rd kill. YPX have always been good at closing the gap within the score. And DCM, this is the map that they're most comfortable on out of, well, the 2 that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But, definitely underestimating YFPX, who have just done a tremendous amount of growth since the last one.
This was also on the defensive side for DCM, putting too many eggs in the basket to count on the turret spot before initiating utility on that C side. When that smoke came up, maybe you have to start pulling the orb up right away, especially when the first shot comes through that allows Kazler to break that Killjoy utility as well on the nanoswarms on the ground. And there was no reaction out there for DCM. They were just playing the offense. Now 3 players trying to push outside of B, all denied. This is such good reads by YFP on their attack so far to work the economy in the map that DCM's faced against so far.
Picking off 2? You didn't even... The job hasn't even started. They haven't even moved anywhere, and they got 2 kills. So this has become a lot easier of a boss to handle. 5 versus 3 with YFPX taking rubble control. Zan is holding around tree, and Carrie's going to come around the back site. 2 lurkers on C of this Rise versus Kurosu. Really, YFPX, you feel comfortable now that the Viper's wall is up. You don't have to worry about Baby Door, but you're worried about these random strays that you're catching.
Still good reads, though. As they're working that map, this is the great way to play their 3-side map. Especially on an eco for the defensive side, you might over-rotate, allowing an opener for Kurosu to push down towards the spawn. They've cleared out the C site. easy plant will come through and even have a forward position. This is,
30
once
seconds
again,
left.
a good way for YFP to continue to steamroll the bank going into round number 6.
Even getting some util around that corner on the top side. Harry has Zan there with the showstopper too. I wonder if you're going to want to invest that just to clear these small areas, especially when Neko and Kurosu are stacked. Here's the Jiggle Peek, the Boom Bot, the Satchel. And Neko is just too good. That's why you call her the aimer. And YFPX will take the round.
Yeah, definitely a tough call to try to come out with the showstopper when you don't have too much utility to move back towards the C side. But I love that Neko aimer, was the one that was pushing out towards the spawn. She was one away from getting the ult ready, and a great way to actually steamroll the ult economy in your favor here is to play against the eco. So they had a perfect high-low. Nice attempt for the Ferrari peak from Jean. But now that allows here lots of ults being online for YFP and lots for DCM. This is actually a huge swing round for DCM if they're able to convert this one. So expect these ults to come out huge.
Yeah, it's a must win for DCM in terms of economy, as you said.
Oh, no.
Looking pretty broke. Oh, showstopper! Yeah, you're coming with me. And the Nightfall just to hose down YFPX. We're just gonna wait this out. Jiggle Peek Baby Door hasn't been broken yet, but you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side. This could be YFPX maybe drawing too much attention towards A, and they've been good at switching sites and always having DCM's second guess.
The good thing about this right now, though, is the more the timer goes down the clock. Oh, no. That's the second time this happens. The Prowler going in front, not clearing the left side, and this time Mizu pays the price. That was from pistol round to this one right here, and that's going to be a costly mistake.
Got that Dollar Tree Prowler just not checking corners. YFPX taking care of one of the defenders at B, and you like that Zan steps up to keep watch. As a turret from Kurosu does ping Zan, puts down some shots, tries to bait out the swing. YFP still have control of Rubble. Over on the right side, if Raven can get in position to set up her planter, and you got Pit, and the round could be sealed.
Face your
Now you gotta worry about Zan coming through Baby Door. She could come behind these offensive members. I'm hyping you up, Zan. You had to deliver, but the turn is too clean from Kurosu. And YFPX have planted. You really don't need to invest more than that in a 4 versus 2, right?
No, you got to save. I don't like that we're continuing to push forward and paranoing. DCM, no discipline here. Trying to go for hero plays on 2 different spots around the A site. Look at all that utility from YFP on that spike. So I'm going to take the time to just watch them fall. Okay, maybe not. Take the play by play. Take the play by play. Take the play by play.
That's a curse. 1v2.
One enemy remaining.
The go? The go?
No time. There
No
you go.
defuse. But killing stuff and got the lockdown, so...
Yeah, but the economy is in shambles for DCM, and the saving grace is trying to keep
you're
those
right.
2 weapons in the end for DCM. And I was going to mention in that mid-round, the more of the clock that was going to run down for YFPX, the more that showstopper that was in the hands of Jean could have been huge for them to deny Spike and also allow for them to take a retake play for the last 3 remaining members. But with that Prowler that missed that front of that B site, you definitely saw that everything went down to shambles in terms of the game plan for DCM in the end. So at YFPX continuing to have a great opportunity to work around that map by getting these first kills, these second kills, and punishing DCM on these pushes.
A pivotal moment was Zan coming through Baby Door, and maybe because it wasn't destroyed, she just revealed her position. It was easy for Kurosu to turn. It's YFPX. Don't have any Rubble people to worry about, which is also good. And you have Kazler watching mid because DCM have been cheeky that way. There's a turret that'll let them know just in case.
Yeah. Everything is around just trying to find info and instant ults out of it. Showstopper is close. Might decide here if you're going to pull a Showstopper out from Zan towards B main. But they want to leave this A site open so they could play the lockdown retake towards the A site. The big focus right now is towards B and C. Now we'll see if they're going to be disciplined, though, on the rotates for DCM because YFP have been really good on the lurks post-plants.
You want to fight it?
MLO having the lockdown be an important part of the retake for DCM. Here's the entry, though, from YFPX at A. Paint shells at the back of sight. Trying to spray on the MLO. He's just going to be overwhelmed in this moment. You got the Cosmic Divide. locking down the site for
30
YFPX,
seconds left.
who aren't even trying to plant at A. They've actually cut through B. And this is where DCM already have angles. 2 coming through the right door and 2 disengaging from the top side, overwhelmed by utility. And YFPX still have not been comfortable planted up until this moment. Prowler was used by DCM, and this isn't shaking up YFPX, but they do not want to be trapped inside of this tiny room. So they're going to respect it, and you got a defensive lockdown pushing them out.
The biggest thing right now is his alert from Kurosu as they're making their way towards Waterfall. Finally, it's being watched by Rise. Big duel coming up.
A lockdown is gone. YPX re-entered to check on their baby. The spike is still planted, not even halfway diffused. 3 versus 2. YPX just having to check the tapped spike and jumping around the corner. Carry couldn't even punish and was going to get crossfired either way. YPX are looking good.
It would have been a different story if Rise won that one. Like I said, they had the perfect read that it was going to be alert from Kurosu, but Kurosu comes out on top with 3 individual 1v1s that they were able to capitalize on because they gained so much space with the lockdown and even the showstopper, yet somehow cannot really move in to get that defuse. And that's the beauty of it as well as playing an Astra in your comp. The more delays that comes through from a lockdown pushing you away, the more you could counter delay from the sucks and even fight back on the post plant. So that's the push and pull that you have and the pros and cons of playing between these controllers of the Omen and the Astra. And YFP is looking so good right now. I mean, this is a night and day performance from even us watching YFP play against FlyQuest in that day 1.
5 consecutive rounds. I'm going to pull a baby bay and say 13-0? Question mark. It's too early to say. I'm just kidding. I know there's 2 on the board, guys. I can read.
I can't. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
I'll get you some glasses. Don't worry. I got you. YPX. They're looking around at Rubble and Zan. Pivotal position. Needing some backup, and I think got blinded or something as they swung in horrible timing. Got Neko pretty low. There's a silver lining there.
And 4 players coming through against 1 player on Rubble with the amount of util that was coming out was going to be very difficult to deal against. I think, as you mentioned, it was probably a Prowler that hit Zan behind the Rubble. That now activates a C-side hit. She's going to try to get away from all of that util that's going to come through right after. Trying to get the delay moving forward. That's a beautiful nanostorm to delay for a bit. But Spike should still be going down.
Gonna get that done soon. This is the get out of my sight free card. And now the retake could have a DCM. They'll look like they can prevent it because of the smokes.
Oh,
and
unlucky.
There's a pit. Offensive one. Oh. Yeah. IPX have the site pretty locked down, and DCM just got to spray through the smoke and hope for the best. And it's going to be a treacherous journey through all of this green. Will they come out on top? Not too bad. In a 3 versus 2, YFPX just have to play their lives and off the pit. Raven needs to stay alive. That's what's most important. And DCM just can't really do much about this. At the cut, though, is Emluo, who doesn't even want to enter the pit.
Trying to get exit.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah. IPX take another round, though. 6 in a row.
And that's so annoying to play against when off the lockdown you have the players getting ready for the rotate and you're on a lower buy, you play the power of numbers, you're good in the fundamentals of doing trades, knowing that, you know, you have players like Emlu and Rise in your roster, but then boom, pit comes out and it plays against your eco or your half buy. And for YFPX to make sure that they just want to guarantee the round to continue to steamroll this half, that's a great counterplay to DCM's retake. Now they have an opportunity to look for, you know, this A side control that they had very easy control against Zan so far. And if they can pick up an orb and allow Sekia to get a Nightfall on the A side.
Okay. Oh, okay, Zan. Nice little flyby.
Caster Curse or Caster Bless. Call that Zan, comes out with an opener.
Bless up. Live and die by the Zan.
Bless up.
Bless. I'm teaching you all the Zoomer words.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Zooming into B is YFPX. They got a pick, but is it enough to feel confident bringing the spike over? Hausler listening in. Maybe wanting to cross over. And here is Zan. Could have an important engagement to try and shut this down. Get the 2nd kill on the board.
This is huge.
Wow, full control of B. And wrapping around. This timing for Kasler is huge.
Taking that back.
And YFPX just have a great opportunity to plant B, and Kessler's like, hey guys,
Just want
what
to make
about
noise here.
here?
They should open the door and move back towards the B site because of the control that Kazar has had. And also allowing now Seke to get the plant instead of an orb. They have a Nightfall in the post plant. Now what they have to put into account is where Rise is, because they know that Enlu and Carry are playing that C site with that double stall that they've been playing.
Rise has paranoia. How can you line this up in time for the swing of Emluo?
Oh, they're screwed.
Yeah. Oh, look who's behind Kazler. He's on the craziest flank of all time.
Yeah.
Can they take advantage of this as Carry and Emluo get discovered? Kazler has to be quick with the backstab. Here's the Nightfall from YFPX. And, well, you take care of the flanker of Kazler. DCM, this is salvageable.
Are you kidding me?
But time is running out. The fuse just tapped. Kills going the way of DCM. Harry went huge there.
Wait, there's no time. Time?
So close. We don't get the 0.06 that Baby Bane Doug had on Icebox yesterday, but that was close.
Oh my god, are you lucky that your YFP in this situation? They have 4 stars and a Nightfall to deny plant. Get off the Nightfall. We're just running in to try to get the players while they're deafened. And I love the heads-up play by that Killjoy to watch that flank from Emlo to get that pick. But after that pick, where's everybody else to move in the site to go for the defuse? Like I said, they already got rid of the stars from the Astra.
Satchel out.
That is unlucky. Unlucky for DCM. That's gotta hurt.
You force them to buy more guns. And there's always a silver lining to losing a round, right?
So many rounds in a row. YP's rich AF.
Hey, you do know some Zoomer words.
For real,
Okay.
for real, I do. On God.
For real, for real. All right, the turret will spot some people at sand. Judging by the number of bullets there, DCM gotta know someone's coming here soon. But YFPX, they're always baiting and switching. They make noise at one site, they go and progress to another. DCM just gotta wait and see.
Concealment.
Now, because of these rounds that you have from DCM, they're playing a little bit more passively now, just trying to find the information. I mean, the alarm bot's on B. They have the one-way smokes being played by the Omen. Now they instantly throw the paranoia away, and from that paranoia, forces out a rotate. YFP has been working this map, again, I have to stress it, very, very well from first gear rushes, or how they want to fight towards rubble, or just default. Everything's been working for them so far to scale up on this map and get the scoreline that they currently have on this first half.
DCM don't have any control of A, but coming through Baby Door is Zan, and that's what they should have done rounds ago. They're going to hold this position. YFPX have the cover of smoke to quickly get into A and hopefully into cover, but DCM at the top site just have to prevent the plant. There's 11 seconds left. Zan gets the second kill. Carry with the third. It's all up to Sekia in a 1 versus 4.
No.
Wait, Sekia. Oh, little panic on the flick. But hey, DCM get around after what feels like decimation from YPX.
Yeah, and they're not out of the frying pan yet, though, because this should still be another healthy buy for YFP. We'll have to look at the ult economy at the same time as well, because with the ways that they were able to get a lot of plants, a lot of post-plant kills as well. I mean, Neko Aimer is only 2 away from getting a showstopper here. So yes, another important swing round for DCM, because now they have economy, and on top of that, the ults to work with. I love that we're calling a timeout. We got to figure out how maybe we could pull out this utility, because you know that you're going to try to throw Hail Marys here with DCM. The amount of times that Zan had showstoppers, that Bala mentioned on the desk with Wyatt and Dan Dryad on that first map, every time Zan had the showstopper, they tried to go for some sort of trap play or something very early to try to get picks. Will they try to bait this out this time for YFP? Will they try to tap orbs to force out even showstoppers and maybe play the rounds a little bit more aggressively at the beginning here and then run the mid round after? That will probably have to be the question that you're going to be discussing here on the first timeout that you're currently using in this map. And I feel that it should have been something that DCM should have been using from how the first half has been running down for YFP's favor in these 11 rounds.
I know in the power rankings, DCM was spotted higher than YFPX, and they could be knocked out of this bracket by YFPX. The underdog. We were drinking that underdog juice or dark horse juice. I don't know what kind of juice we're doing these days.
Yours was invisible.
But mine was invisible. I was drinking the void. But DCM are going to be in the void very soon because that's the economy starting to be saved, but you need to pick up some momentum, and we'll see if the ults DCM have figured out how to use these. Already some early pressure on the lobby. YFPX progressing through mid, using that prowler. You got a pit holding down C. That doesn't become an option for YFPX, and not getting any intel on B. They're going to see what's up here in rubble.
Now the question is, will the dog activate a showstopper, or is Zan's just going to overheat in there? Yep. Misses.
How do you get no one? How do you get no one? There's always like 65 people in lobby. Getting nothing on showstopper is so painful, and you die. Neko and friends advance through the A field, and DCM have somewhat a baby door. This could be Isu getting some cutoffs. Maybe hearing that Kurosu's lurking around C and mid kind of forces that baby door attention away, so YFPX are a lot safer to open this door. Nobody's going to be waiting for them in tree. You got stars placed all over the site.
This is committed.
DCM got to play for retake.
I mean, YFP now realizes moving in towards the A side, there's no KJ utility. And with the pit towards the C side, they know Viper is on C. KJ's probably towards B. And that means only one defender on that A site. So they're able to play a great post plan now.
DCM have Rise and Misu going around this Viper wall, and huge pickups by them. DCM coming through the back site. They still have to worry about Neko, who's pushing up.
One enemy remaining.
Showstopper gone. Oh, still looking for something. Getting a kill out of it is nice, but you have to show your back to the defenders, who will get a defuse, and DCM still trying to salvage that economy.
That was a 4 versus 5 retake. Disadvantage for DCM, where it seems as though trying to cover that Hobbit door, the baby door, that they lost 2 players instantly, just allowing DCM to pick up the pace and really work back towards the A side. Showstopper not getting too much value because they were doing a lot of pressure towards the tree. And what looked very one-sided to start things off for YFP, though, becomes a 4-7 scoreline, where you're looking actually quite good in the position of DCM on this defensive side so far, because a 3-sided map with the way that you could default around, and DCM is good on those as well. They actually could turn this around on the second half, although we'll have to wait a little bit before we have a chance to do that because we have a technical pause, of course. But you know what? It was still one-dimensional at the beginning of this round here, Lemon Kiwi, when we called out the showstopper was going to come out no matter what off the prowler, and they were able to read that perfectly for YFP and get such a good plant on that A side. Yet somehow the positioning on the post plant, losing those bodies towards the baby door, not having too much in terms of fundamentals for the trades on that baby door, proved to be very costly for them.
The 7-4. DCM aren't going to make this total throw of a first half. They're keeping it within reachable distance. When YFPX were on a roll, DCM, yeah, we're going into the last round of the half, so whatever economy we have, that is it. We have a cosmic divide from Kazler, from the Shadows, Nightfall. It seems like a round that would favor DCM on paper, but we'll see how they execute. They're also one away from lockdown there for Emluo. One away from Nightfall for Sekia. This is a big round.
And we're able to buy almost every single round. The lowest buy that really looked like they were breaking the economy is this round right here, where Neko only has a Guardian. I'm going to try to use Neko to try to pick off towards this A side. You saw this seasoning early coming out, but we're seeing that pistol run again. The setup that you have from DCM is to wait for the orb to get tapped. You'll have a paranoid to swing out. And there's no stars this time. And there's that tap. Beautiful read. But Zan still gets the opener.
Zan has support on this swing, and I think that's why that's a lot more successful. ECM taking care of at least one of the smokes from YFPX. Prowler searching around B. Carry connects onto Kurosu, who was on some kind of flank back there. Now YFPX trying to be cheeky with it, and A still be trying for C.
Yeah, this is one of those rare misreads that you had from YFP, because the last time they had this set up for DCM, Kazler walked up to get information and actually bait out that trap play with a smoke. This time with no smoke towards the C side, open season for DCM to push forward. Now it's a contact play. Neko actually gets baited out and baits out the Nightfall on both ends.
Still swinging against the Nightfall is crazy. Neko. Be meowing back in spawn. YFPX are down tremendous. Physically and morally, 2 versus 5.
There.
Control of B, stomping away, getting in position for a plant when you don't have control of top B, so you're planting in cover. Raven watches baby door, might have Sekia join her. To just be nice and hidden as much as possible. Zan, go be bait. 28 HP. Go do something. Oh, snake bite. Raven barely manages to get out from there. Spike is being tapped. Raven's overwhelmed. And DCM, these last 3 rounds, making this look close, but we go into the second half, 7-5.
Yeah, very close, actually, indeed. DCM were able to turn things around towards the end of the half, and
Switching sides.
now I could stop being as angry as I was watching this unravel pretty much. Like, no, how are they able to get straight 7 rounds in a row there for YFP? It seems as though DCM really had a tough time reading how they wanted to work their defensive side. But being able to pull these type of plays towards the end to still stay true to their protocols and say, hey, our trap play didn't work towards the pistol. Let's try it again in this round number 12 and capitalize on something here. It definitely shows that now you're a little bit more warmed up. And it took a while from the first map to the second map here to start activating here. Hoping here, again, they talked about on the desk, how do you activate Zen on the attack? So far, they're not really doing it. Everybody's staying back towards the spawn, anticipating a B side push. Look at Zen holding long range with his Sheriff here on the top of B. At spawn.
Ooh, are YFP gonna want to swing here? Rise. Paranoia. Oh, I found somebody. And Rise is like, help me, Zan. I got you. I got the lineup. But no one's pushing, so it's fine. We know someone's in spawn. Okay, great information. Someone is in spawn. Where do they go from spawn? There's 3 different ways.
That's it. Fake
Jiggle
info.
peeking is Kazler. Yeah.
And with that, they really don't know. They have to go for the jump spotting, and finally got spotted here by Raven. Instantly pulls up the wall on the attack. But the thing is, they only spotted Carry. So is this going to be a fake right now in the eyes of YFPX? And looks like it's not. They're still going to try to move forward.
Rosu, be careful. There's grenades. Okay, I can't even get out because they're blind. Paranoia went crazy. But Rosu got back up. Raven, Rosu picking up kills. Oh, man. This team of DCM is just different. They got to pick up the spike, though. Objectives are important. And the defense, non-existent. As DCM pick up the round and even things up 7-7.
Wow, that was it just came down to
6-7.
the amount of utility that was being used, and as soon as that was done, you saw Nanostorms on one side, Paranoias and Hans on both sides to really try to delay and push on the attack and defense. And as soon as all of that disappeared, it came down to just the amount of trades on the gun battles with Ghosts versus Right Click Classics that, you know, you just saw DCM across the board. They're all kills that happen off camera for a bit, but it shows how close and tight-knit both of these teams were on the exchanges on that A side. So DCM wins that one. That's a great way, once again, on the attack. Not only to tie things up, but to snowball their attack side of this map of Lotus.
Throwing some bullets down around sand. Just, I dare you to swing. But nobody's there. No one wants to do that anyway. And on the other side is, around this corner, is Kurosu 2 of C. If this push continues from DCM, usually people shoot that box or at least check it. Kurosu was going to have the back of this Omen. No, Rise picks up the kill, and this may just open things up for C. Quickly rotating back, though, is Raven and Kazler, but the kills continue for DCM. Now taking care of the lurker from YPX that came from A. This is a plan for DCM. Kazler tried to prevent it. Xana's just built differently. And now DCM may just be able to even things up when Seki is left in a 1v5.
It almost seems like the same type of playbook that we saw from YFPX on the first half. Going back to the seaside plant, having your duelists move forward and farm up some orbs, trying to get that showstopper up ASAP. This is looking pretty good here for DCM to have a flawless, especially in the position that we currently see. Sekia this whole time is always afraid of a lurk from carry, so this is probably some sort of tape here that DCM and YFPX have against each other. Although it maybe seemed like at the beginning that the read was better for YFPX because Kurosi had some great lurks on that KJ roll. That said, though, with them being ready for these Forsakia, we'll have to see in the later rounds if YFPX will want to try to activate these lurks, and if DCM just wants to pit one player against that lurk.
Sekia said, "You can't kill me. I'm gonna take myself out. No fun, no money for you." But a 7-7 scoreline. When this started, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-2 for YFPX in that first half. So DCM keeping their composure. This is a map that they felt very confident and comfortable in, that they've beaten down YFPX in before, but this is a different version of YFPX, an evolved one. Is DCM taking some eyes, set up here at Sand. And Raven jiggle peeking is like, oh boy, there's some action here. I don't want no part of it.
And them are also doing very similar holds here for YFPX versus DCM. The double stall with the KJ and the Viper on the C side, but a little bit of pressure on the A side at least. Neko's trying to push forward. They know about this lurk from Carry, and oh, that was a timing right there, almost. But still a kill somehow with a stinger. At that range, we have one that fell here towards that C side.
Harry gets out. Cute little hops. Sheeta and Neko frustrated, shooting. Said, I'm here. Try that again, I dare you. DCM ready to swing. Neko had the lineup. Crazy repeat there, and Painshow's kind of missing that doorway, but the effort was there, and the wall was up.
Still committed. Looks like on the attack, they want to continue to work this A side. Potentially afraid of KJ Utility still being up from Kurosu on C, so they want to use these Bulldogs to trade in closer range on a full hit on the A side, but this is a great read. Look at the instant pivot from YFP towards this A side with 23 seconds left. And as they read the A side, though, DCM's getting ready to go towards Baby Door to B because of this late lurk from M. Luo towards the B main.
Okay, good clear from DCM. Kind of running out of time, though. Working on the plant. The defensive prowler came through the top door. Misu in position to help, or sorry, Sekia in position to help with this. Kazler by their side. I'm not seeing really anyone on side. The defense could step up, but Neko tried the flank. Didn't work out. DCM holding their own. The 4 versus 2. Spike being tapped. Kazler providing some backup. Good first pick on the Emluo, who's on the bottom side, and challenging Baby Door could be tough. Sekia with 2. Oh, and Carry cleans it up.
Oh my god, there were so many moments of nice try from both teams, pretty much. I mean, you saw Carry walk out with her knife towards the A side, and Neko, I think, was the one that was around the corner that could have lined up 2 there and lost that fight and died. And that was a beautiful stunt, too. Actually could have probably killed 3 at that point. But thankfully, Sekia moved around, got 2 of her own, and it just became these moments where you had heroic plays off panics. But it's still DCM that pulls out on top when they had that bonus round in round number 15. Now, once again, breaking the economy of YFPX. Not once again, but breaking the economy for the first time in this half. But it seems, again, the story stays very much the same for both of these teams.
Oh, Emlu, I knew you could have been clean with it. I knew that double. I believed in the double. I also believe in the showstopper after Zan got the orb, so in a tight place like this. Okay, no showstopper for me then. Kurosu, huge pickup with the 2 with the Sheriff. Think right thrown up by Raven to try and hose out those people from tree.
Oh no.
YFPX have the spike, and Rise wants to leave. Great job getting to see. This will be a free plant.
It's still very smart, though.
Spike planted.
Gun just got picked up, although Sekia is going to hear this the whole time. And as well as Carry. So all Carry could do is just hold the tree. Door has never been broken. This is pretty much around for DCM. I would have liked them for them to focus the double play, the double players towards the A site to push against Carry. But instead it became 2 individual pushes where it really foils the attempt or the possibility of really winning that round there for YFPX. Although they've done the econ damage, I thought there was going to be a GC Sheriff round in favor of the defenders with these shots that came out from Kurosu. We stopped the bleeding there for Decimate. Now they, pull 3-4 rounds in a row in the half to take the lead by 2. And an op comes out on the defensive side for Neko Aimer. Already posted up on the C side.
Swing, but no one's going to be there. Showstopper from Zan. I wanted to see the last round. Got cut too short. Throws it at baby door. No one's there. Haunt at the front of B site. Plant. Not feeling so comfy when you just got no intel, you got no kills, and Nucko don't want to deal with that Prowler.
So unlucky on that timing. Although that gives DCM an opportunity to move in the side and get the plant.
Spike planted.
Okay. Prowler will discover Kazler at the top. Zan wants to take full advantage of that, and at YFPX they're taking space, and DCM's backs are against the wall, but they bite back harder. Carry with 2. Kazler's in the smoke, ready to swing, but there's too many people from DCM out, and that's 5 consecutive rounds.
What a round by Carry and Rise. If I'm not mistaken, that was Carry towards that B main guy, hit by a Haunt, and it almost looked like she was going to get picked off there by Neko with that op. And as she made some noise, stopped just around the corner to try to bait out the forward footstep from the op, rises on the top of the boxes of the B main, and it just becomes an unintentional crossfire setup from both of the teams. A bait and switch that worked out in their favor to hold the pulse plant, where it looked very dangerous. As you mentioned, you want to see a showstopper coming out from Zan. Didn't get the pick, but at least it cleared the space to allow the rest of DCM to get those unorthodox positions, if I could put it that way, on the pulse plant for DCM, and puts YFPX in another save.
DCM checking out what Rubble is like. Not expecting YFPX to be aggressive in these areas with the buy that they have. But DCM are still going to respect what the damage you can do with a Sheriff. And saw Kurosu's ankle. Only took the skin off. They managed to get out. DCM just clearing out baby door, using the Prowler to check out what's happening at B site. Around this corner is Neko. And use the not the boom bot, not yet, but the pit. Just gonna flush out all the rats from this sewer. DCM just seeing what the boom bot could find, but with no intel, no kills. You really want to try and plant B even with this pit when the spike is all the way over at A.
Yeah, they're just making sure they're maintaining the B side as they're pivoting back towards the A side. Then a late lurk that you have on the C side. The timing's off, and Lua doesn't get that pick onto Kazler. But all this is just to contain B while the rest of them could just hit the A site. Nightfall hits the KJ in the back.
AJ dealt with. Sekia removed from that equation. DCM in a great spot to plant for A. Retake from YFPX coming through the top side. The pit's still active in B, so you know exactly where YFPX are going to be funneling from. You got MLuo making the longest rotations ever through the back, but if the timing is right, get some shots in the back of YFPX. They start moving forward. Kazler leads the charge. With the Sheriff, though, they gotta play together. YPX gotta set up for trades. They know DCM is in tree. The smoke is blocking things off. He got a stun. Barely Raven able to make something happen. Zan with 4 that round.
There's way too much stall utility here for DCM. That was super well done. Despite seeing those stars and smokes coming down, but they had the high-low satchels. They had a paranoia ready off the tap. DCM just held a protocol on the pulse plant on this A side, and securing that round is huge for them. That puts them at 11. 2 more rounds to close off this map, where we haven't yet seen YFPX have an opportunity to score in this half. And it's not necessarily just on... They have good positioning still, but losing a pistol round and a bonus allows for your opponents to snowball so much. You're trying to make plays. I mean, they tried to push aggressively with the operator a couple of rounds ago. Couldn't capitalize on that kill. Now it comes down to the swing opportunity that you have with this showstopper and this lockdown. Round number 19 here. Okay to play
7-2 lead.
Yeah.
For YFPX. It's gone. 11-7. 6 rounds in a row from DCM. Just have this offense downloaded. Now they're going to just tap the orb, and this gets Neko satcheling out with the showstopper. Bring it on. This is my orb. Now just Neko just fighting her demons there with the showstopper, but DCM are just going to run the complete opposite way. That raise is intimidating. They do what they do best and hit A as hard as they can. Who awaits them is Raven, 1 away from the pit. This could make something happen for YPX's defense. They're all rotating position, but DCM could fake this and go to B, but they look so committed. They're going to fight for their lives. DCM close to match point, and the numbers favor them. Popping out of the smoke, Raven is quicker.
30 seconds left.
DCM begin the plant. The only person left to have a say about it is Neko. Catch Misu before getting into tree. The wall is up. Where could the rest be? Now the snake, but you know where that snake bite came from. You don't know that there's two of them there, depending on how many people shoot this. Boombot, the high-low setup for DCM gets them. Match point.
Good information, and tried to swing off the timing where people could be focusing on the Boombot instead and hopefully get lucky on that spray. Still around converted here for DCM, where the read was still pretty good. The game plan off the showstopper, it almost seems like a replica of Sunset, where you had Zan ulting with the showstopper on the B side, then you have Stall on the other side. They have the same thing for YPX here. Showstopper on C, double Stall on the A side, but they were propped up a little bit too early, just allowing their DCM to funnel in right after with the time remaining, and nobody really rotated fast enough towards the A side. They're trying to go with, once again, the showstopper to clear out towards B, just like they did last time. Open site now for DCM to plant.
Oh, maybe good timing on that pain shells and the showstopper. Zoning, man, everything being thrown Zan's way. 64 HP. This door is metaphorically closed, even though if it's physically open. YFPX got to worry about what Zan can do, and even still has the boom bot stomping away. Wrong corner check. Double for DCM. Has that set them up to take game 2. Rise keeps protecting B. Plant for DCM. YPX have to depend on Raven. And death follows. What a comeback from DCM to take game 2.
I think we went scoreless on that second half there for YFPX, and it definitely showed that the stress was coming back in their favor, and they were making some costly mistakes at that point. But nonetheless, it's still great for DCM to be able to turn that around from what was, you mentioned it, a 7-2 start for YFPX. Such a strong start that they had here on the attack, and somehow they had to read. They stayed calm on the other end for Decimate, and once they had the attack side, it was just GG right there. It didn't look like YFP had an opportunity to really have the right reads on the defense, or potentially even not playing aggressive enough to really funnel towards those stacks.
What a fun series we've had. Vans, we got a game 3, and it's as close as it gonna get. The desk talked about the comeback potential of both of these teams. Well, we're gonna settle the score on Ascent, and we're gonna see you on the other side of the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Never